We'll bring the Douglas Cable Advisory Committee meeting of Monday, December 11th, 2017 to order. The time is 7:06, and we'll start off, as we do often, with committee vacancies. We have 2 openings on the committee. If you're interested at all in participating in the Cable Committee or any other committees that are looking for volunteers, you can be in touch with the Cable Committee at cable@douglasma.org, or you can call 508-476-4000, extension 222.
Yeah, I gotta correct that.
If interested. So, moving right along, we have 2 months of financials to go over because I unfortunately couldn't make it in time for last month's meeting. So, for the month of October, the end of October, we had in full-time wages $2,339. In part-time wages, we had $920, and the monthly expenses, we had repairs and maintenance totaling $93.15, employee training seminar for $200, other services for $175.18, and other supplies of $52.99, for a total of $521.32, for a total of the month of $3,781.75. Pretty frugal month. In the month of November, we had full-time wages of $2,339.73, part-time wages of $611.60. We had repairs and maintenance of $119.40. That's a constant. That's a recurring bill, right?
Yeah, that's for DreamHost.
Okay. And then we had office supplies of $259.96, in-state travel for $10, training and education for $86.93, dues and memberships, $425.18, and that would be, which due is?
That was for the Alliance for Community Media.
Okay, thank you. So we had a total of expenses of $901.47, with a monthly total of $3,852, and to date this year we have spent $21,055 for the first 5 months, and so I'd say we're well on track to being within our budget for the season. Do you have any questions on the budget?
No, I don't.
And just to clarify, that 119, that's for DreamHost, that's only annual, so that's only once a year. But yeah, we do have a couple of our monthly items or quarter, however it is, to every
Cable and the
keyless entry
and the door.
Yep.
Yeah, door entry.
Yep.
I signed off on a couple of bills payable over the past months. In November 8th, it was $272.11. I see that you lost 70 cents in mileage there. And was that a change in the mileage rate, or?
It's something they must have a more detailed search on
Okay.
the maps, because I do the shortest one I can find total, but they always find a little bit shorter.
They find a shorter one.
A
Okay.
little bit of a shortcut.
And then we got some office supplies in late November, totaling $379. And that's once again why we've been so frugal.
Yeah?
Which brings us to the minutes of the last meeting we had on October 16th, 2017.
Yeah, I've read the minutes, and I make a motion to accept the minutes as written for Monday, October 16th, 2017.
Second.
We have any further discussion? I just wanted to say that one of the items we talked about was the North Village condos and having cable installed up there, and we have been in touch with the government, the Director of Government Affairs, Anna Lucy, to tell her that, to ask her to move this along. And all the paperwork has been filed. I was told that they would be purchasing the equipment and start the work at the beginning of this month, December. So I guess I need to find out with our person who asked about it and see if they have actually done some work up there. So all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. We have some correspondence from Charter Communications. As of November 13th, we now have I-24 News Launch, which is, I guess, a news headline service on Spectrum TV Tier 1, Silver and Premier lineups. They don't tell us what channel it's on, so, but it must be out there somewhere. That's it for communication. That's for 2 months. That's pretty slow.
Yes.
And that must bring us up to,
Well, I included this
The,
letter in
this letter from-
correspondence. It doesn't have its
Okay.
own line.
okay. So we received a letter from our new town administrator, Matthew Wojcik, and he is talking about the fact that our technology administrator is looking for some help with the town website, and Pat Aldrich, who is a very talented person and is taking care of the cable website, was suggested he handle some of the content management of the website, and Scott will be leaving the town's employ at the end of June of this year, at the end of the fiscal year. And so the question is whether Pat could take on some of these some of these other duties. And there's no indication about whether this would be in addition, hours in addition, and who would pay for these services. And I did talk to Matt today, and it's still kind of all up in the air. You can explain how you talked to Scott and
Sure.
and how this came about.
Sure.
Are they planning on filling his position?
They, yes,
Okay.
they realize that they do need someone. From what I understand, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the town infrastructure. I guess they have servers that are still here in boxes that need to get put up and running, and I think Matt would rather have those up and running than having Scott spend his time on the website. But at some point, the website has to
Yeah, okay.
be upgraded. So,
So a little
So a
bit
little
of
background.
A little bit of background how this came about. When we moved over to the new website, we did some staff training, and I've done in my past. I've done some web work for different people and different levels of it, including website design and website management, stuff like that. I found that this platform that they're moving to, I was pretty comfortable with it right off the bat, and I started working on the cable portion of the website immediately, and kind of going back and forth with one of the members of the support team for the new website. And going back and forth with Scott, he was saying that he was envisioning utilizing me to help manage. Basically, the intent with the new website is to have all the department heads essentially have their own access to their own page, and I believe what he's going to be doing is from now until the website rollout, which is theorized to be January, February at this point. There's going to be another training period because it's been a year now since the last training period. We're going to go through another training period, and I think that he found that there was a lot more questions coming back to him on the website. He was spending a lot of time doing that from different people in the town that don't have the background. So he was thinking if I could do that somehow, where I'm already located here, I'm here most of the week, and I have a comfort level with it, that perhaps they could use me in this way. I told him I was definitely up to talk about it, and that it does interest me. My biggest concern is just how it's going to be, like you guys said, the how of the thing is what as far as I could see, cross-departmentally, the only thing I'm concerned about is that bleed over between the departments where, you know, it's, on one concern, it's good that I'm here, but, and then on the other, it's like, I don't know if that means that everyone's gonna be coming to me constantly for this type of, so I'd like to see a little bit,
Yeah,
I'd like to see a little bit of how they wanna lay it out and how it would effectually work before, you know.
Yeah, because, I mean, are we envisioning like a lot of work before and during the launch, and then it will peter out, you know, or?
I think that that's what he's thinking, is that there would be an initial push where I might need to be involved quite a bit.
Mhm.
And then, so I discussed maybe breaking it in 2 phases. I don't know, I don't know how any of it'll work, but the first phase would be the actual, to get the site launched and get everyone comfortable and ready to go. And then the second thing would be, he was discussing about after the launch, having me here as a go-to person for department heads that might need help.
Mhm.
Which, you know, I'm open to the whole idea. I'd
No,
like to see how it's all laid out, you know?
To me, it's an idea that sounds appealing to
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You have any thoughts on this, Chris, or? But, you know, since Pat has some expertise in the area, and he's here, and, it was actually in the back of my head a long time ago that it would be an interesting thing. The thing is that our funding comes from charter, and the funding is given to us with the intent of supporting the PEG channels. So, I mean, we have our 3 channels on TV, and we use the video for the web, and so, and I guess because of that usage, we're one of the major users of the web here at Town Hall. But, so the question, we just have to iron out details about increased hours. If it's increased hours, Pat moves from the part-time status to a full-time status, but what does that really mean? Because there's a few benefits that would accrue, although most of them at 29 hours Pat already has. And so we need to find out whether this would be in addition to, or whether it would be job 2. So we
Right.
still have,
Funding.
yeah, and funding,
For his time.
so we have to,
Could be
we have
kind of
to
like work tickets or something like that, maybe, or once it's rolling out.
like, what?
Work tickets, like a department needs something, then they put a work ticket in, you
Mhm.
charge time against it.
That's how he does things right now. So the current IT department has a ticket system. And I told him that I'd probably be more comfortable with that, whereas if people go to him for what they need, and then he can filter down to me what I can do.
I mean, some of the track the time and things like that, because
Right.
we don't really know how much time you
Because you're busy and you're 29 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm plenty busy, so it's not, I don't have a lot of time for it. It would be extra time most likely. You know, it'd be time that I'd be not currently spending. I think initially, that's why I think personally that if they went if they had a short-term and then a long-term project, because the short-term project seems to be they need to get everyone here up to date on
Get 'em up to
the platform.
speed.
And then the secondary project is just be like ongoing support as time goes on. Both things I'm comfortable with. I don't, you know, I'm looking for like a clean way to do it without, you know, I guess we could ask them what they're thinking though, because I don't know.
I think we probably have to
Yeah.
talk to Matt some more about it, right? And
Yeah.
See what,
Yeah, because Scott and Pat spoke, and then Pat was putting his thoughts together when we got this letter from the town manager, because obviously Scott went over and talked to
Right.
the town manager, and
it's a small
and-
place.
and so this kind of pushed the issue. So that's why we were saying this. So we.
I mean, in theory, I'm not opposed to the idea at all, so.
You opposed or in favor of, or? Makes no difference to you. Okay. So, well, then we'll just have to hang
get some more
with it.
details.
Keep this on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
ideally we could go back and just say, you know, do we have anything that we could see, you know, that breaks it down a little bit of how,
Yeah.
the how?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it? What is the real job that we're
Right.
talking to do?
Yeah, I took this as he's kind of taken group-wise our temperature on how we feel about the matter in general.
I mean, the issue is where the pay roll comes from.
Yeah.
Yes, so,
As far as, do you want me to just get back to him and say that we need to look at more details, or?
yeah, I probably should call him back.
Okay.
And we'll have more next month then.
Yeah. Yeah, I
How's
mean,
that?
seems like a could work out.
Okay, I think was it last month's correspondence, we got our notification from Suzanne?
Yep.
That, the annual report information is due, and so I asked Pat to put together a first draft for the town report. Here it is in front of us. It looks pretty good to me. I see one word I pull out. The word finally, consolidate. But other than that, how is our computer situation these days anyways?
The computer situation?
Yeah.
I think that we're solid for, I was gonna put together, maybe an item or two for next budget.
Okay.
But I think we're solid through this year at least. That new iMac is a beast, so.
Good report.
The only other thing that changes by then, I'm sure the program's hours and number of videos will change at the bottom there, but.
Yeah, and then also, what about the other local programs, the the stuff that you film here, that you video here? How many hours of?
Oh, put the public info there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because that's only the meeting videos. So add public video info.
Do you hear often from the school committee and anything about their channel, or?
Not a lot of feedback, but I do, I work with the video instructor over there he's using it quite a bit now where he schedules and stuff, so it's
Good.
good, yeah.
Were you still involved in the Valley Tech
Yep.
meetings?
I noticed that the Valley Tech meetings, they're even on the town website.
Yep.
Good.
So,
Yeah, so I mean, do you guys want me to put that on the agenda again? Do we review that yearly and do it, or is that just something you think was ongoing from this point? The
do we-
Valley Tech coverage?
Valley Tech, I would assume that we would want to keep doing
Just-
that. and
just
I
keep
think
rolling with it.
Since
Keep rolling.
you have other towns involved in the
Yeah.
participation, I think that's great. I think that's the way it should be done,
Yeah.
sharing the burden.
Yeah, this year we're gonna try and every year I'm trying to get other people involved who haven't been involved, because
Mhm.
it's kind of the same 4 or 5 of us that have been doing it, but
Okay,
it's, we're still covering it, so it's nice to spread it out a little.
Yeah.
okay. So that's, so we should put that on the agenda for next month, and we'll probably confirm in January, since it's due January 30th or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still have time, but this
Yeah.
is a great first round. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's see, next on the agenda, we had a question about the senior citizen discount on the basic service from Charter. It is in our license with the Charter that a senior citizen can receive a 10% discount on the basic service, which I believe the basic service is now around $26 in some sense. But in order to receive that discount, you either have to mail or show up at the Charter office with some verification of your age, which can be your license, it can be, I think, there's a couple other, do you have that here? Or-
I don't have the actual
Okay.
blurb here, but
But it's either a piece of, everybody should have one of the pieces of things, and so, but the onus is actually on the senior to go after Charter and ask for this. And it's not something that if you call up Charter and you're talking to a customer rep who's somewhere else in the world, they have no idea what the agreement is between Douglas and Charter. So it is something you have to mail or show up in person to request. And so we have, to that end, have sent information to the senior center, and we have posted it online, and any other places we.
just about that, yeah. Just on our page, on Twitter, Facebook, Senior Center. I think they were putting in their newsletter. So.
Okay, great. So, and the information sent to the senior center did have all the types of identification that are valid for this.
Yeah, we sent them the actual text from the license that explains the whole thing.
Good.
And so it seems that it's as difficult as it may be, it's unfortunately not just a call to the cable company, because everybody would call. Well, anybody who has basic cable would call and say, I want my 10% discount, but you do have to prove that you are a senior, and I believe in this case, senior starts at the age of 65.
Good.
Okay, so that's the Conservation Committee meetings.
So, to date, the Conservation Committee had been recorded by their staff member, and originally the way that the recording stuff was set up, it was all sort of wired in through this little area, and he had to sit right there to show. He does presentations on his laptop every meeting, and he just ended up kind of doing the recording because it was just the easiest setup for him, and he was fine doing it. So that's what we've done to date in that room. The department itself, he was not available last meeting, and the department asked us to have someone record, and they said, can you just have someone record from now on? And I said, yeah, of course. So as far as I'm concerned, we keep upgrading the equipment a little bit further away. Before it was just a DVD-R, so it was essentially just
Plug and play.
Yeah, it was like something you'd have at home, whereas now we're putting actual equipment in there, so it makes sense to have our staff, I think, staffing it.
Especially if you're going to use the
We
two
do all the
cameras.
meetings, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that you can't participate in a meeting and start zooming cameras.
Yeah, exactly, and also the cord that I have in there for him now can reach all around the whole room, so he can go anywhere and sit with
Sit
the
wherever he
laptop.
wants.
Yeah, so it's just getting easier, and that area that is under where the cameras are involved too, there's really no microphones there, so it doesn't pick up that great from that area.
Okay.
So as far as it's just not really set up for
Well,
someone to attend the meeting and.
Makes a lot
I
of
would
sense.
heartily agree that we should do that.
Okay.
Super. So, then you have the job descriptions here.
So I put job descriptions for two reasons. We have the new town administrator had a department head meeting and was saying that for this year, for him as an introductory thing, he would like kind of like a light evaluation of staff. And the way he explained that was basically take the job description, match it up to performance, and to give him an idea of who's doing what, and sort of introduce him to a lot of the staff members. The other reason that I tagged it is because at least the coordinator job description, if you look at it, there's a few things right off the bat that are going to jump out that we've changed in the past few years. And then I just think that we probably could use another look at it, where we're already looking at, if we're looking to do job evaluations off this, I think
Right.
that it's a good time probably to get an update on it, since we've had Mitch's departure and just a few
Right.
different things that have kind of happened in the meantime.
So is there anything that does leap out at you here that should definitely be
I have some word change ideas, but you know, like scheduled programming for channel 11 and 12. You know, we should probably put different language, just government and public. You know, instead of
Yeah.
the specific channel in case they change it on us again.
Yeah.
But
Which they will, no doubt.
I don't think there's much that I would take away, but there's a few things I would probably add to it. And you know, it says part time and 15 to 19 hours a week. Little things like that. You
Yep.
know.
Could you mark it up for us then?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And the same for the recording assistant?
So the recording assistant, I have some ideas on this because I feel like there's becoming a tiered system as far as there's some recording stations that are much more simplematic. Or is that a word? But
Simple.
Much simpler.
much more simple. There you go. And I'll simplify my word. But so some of the setups are very simple to use, and then some of them like this room here, when you go live now, there's a lot of steps to it, and there's a lot of I think it's a better way, but it's a little more complicated. And also there seems to be a trend going towards folks' availability. So some people can only be available like one night, you know, here or there, and then some folks are working like constantly. So I didn't know if there was a way to do like either a tiered staff for that, where you have people that are trained and responsible for the more technical stuff, and then people that are more.
Yeah, that would be a whole,
Yeah, I don't know.
that would be a whole personnel board
That's true.
thing, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that would be,
I mean,
Might be a little complicated for what we want.
you can manage those factors
Mm,
with people that you're scheduling and things like that.
that's true.
I mean, you're able to manage
is
it.
it just a resistance to learn some of the things, or is it just?
No, I don't think so. But I think that that's not what I was trying to say with it. What I was trying to say is I think that there's I'll probably have to iron this out a little bit more before I
Okay,
discuss it. But I'm just saying, while we're thinking about the job description,
right.
you know, I was just trying to iron it out. But
I mean, you can get everybody trained up on all the equipment.
that's true too.
You could have some kind of qualification check-off sheet or something that you use.
That's actually another thing that I was thinking about with the whole idea of it, is doing another staff training session and just getting everyone, bringing everyone to the same spot.
Yeah,
Um,
that, you know, we could pay everybody for coming in to do it.
Okay. The other thing that I'm trying to mitigate now is that with our so all of our assistants are all, you know, they've been here for a long time and stuff, but there's the availability is getting lower. So I have you know, the big thing for me is pop-up meetings, like, you know,
Yep,
a meeting will pop up for tomorrow,
yep.
and I'll need to be able to get someone booked and ready, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time I'll jump on them if I can't get people here, but sometimes it's just I can't be here for that, and I can't get anyone to be here. I think we have enough people, but the availability, I guess, is the tough part,
Have
because
enough people, you don't have enough coverage.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
if I do, you know, some nights they'll have 4 or 5 meetings on a Tuesday night,
Right.
and then there's 2 meetings on Wednesday, a meeting on Thursday, and if I have a couple of folks who can only be here one night,
Yeah.
and I use them all up on Tuesday, then I don't.
Have anybody for Wednesday or Thursday.
Right, but it's hard to get more people in because it's not like it's guaranteed hours. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's a tough.
Right.
I don't know. I guess I'm just looking for ideas there, or just putting the idea seed in your head for that, but.
Well, it's good to know. But,
And it's hasn't been that much of a struggle,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my biggest struggle with staffing is just sometimes I'm like trying to balance the week out, figuring out.
That's the toughest part, it's got to be.
yeah, and then you know, I'd put something out. If somebody's interested in participating, I mean, if you get somebody good, get them. If you get somebody who doesn't seem that interested in, I'd try to find somebody who would be flexible and available.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean,
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
because it's just, yeah, because I.
It's in evenings, sporadic kind of a job.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of tough to get.
And the only real night, I think it'd be
Real money.
Tuesdays. Probably Tuesday night, we could guarantee someone will work Tuesday
Yep.
night, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. So I guess I'm just throwing it out there. I don't really need an answer, but
Okay.
but if I need, so you got, if I wanted to just put something out in general and just see if anyone else was interested and
Yep.
try them out and.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yep.
that's fine.
We need a probationary period, that's what we need.
Maybe.
So,
But other than that, on the recording assistant, I don't see much that needs to change there. Just maybe specifics with the newer equipment
Yep.
that we have,
Mhm.
but I think you guys have it covered.
which must bring us to,
Report.
what's the staff evaluations, fiscal 17, is that?
Oh, that's what I mentioned right at the
Okay.
first, so I guess, yeah, that's the second part to the job descriptions, is that the new town administrator would like to see some staff evaluations based off the job descriptions.
Descriptions, so, and so it would be up to you to do the,
So I would probably evaluate the recording assistants and
we're supposed to do something with you. God.
and I checked if there was any kind of form that the town had, like a universal form, and he said not at this point. He just
Yeah,
wants it
okay.
done off the
Yeah,
job
you
description.
know, the forms are so, it's tough.
Yeah.
You Rate 1 to 5, or you
Is
were
he
2 or
looking
3
to
or
address
4.
each bullet on the job description?
I would say that you use this as a guideline and then just go,
We're just looking for a write-up or something?
yeah, I would say so,
Yeah, he said like a highlight,
yeah.
you know.
So. I mean, like, you don't really have posted hours, do you?
Not really. I mean,
The doctor is in.
yeah,
You're here when you're here. But if somebody wanted to meet you, I mean, you could set up an appointment.
Yes.
Okay,
and I do have, pretty regular hours.
okay. So, then let's go to our cable coordinators report.
All right. So attached you have a October and November meeting report. Both of which went pretty smooth. November was a very light month.
And everything's working.
Everything's going good.
And, and talk about the equipment.
Oh yes. So the first note there, the PAs in this room, just adjusted the settings and I actually fixed an alternative input to it. So it was going through an XLR input, and I switched it around, and now it's going through an RCA input. It's a brand new input on the machine that hadn't been used to date. So I was theorizing that would probably be unsullied by whatever issues are happening with the other input, and it did work. So
Is that the buzz that we were trying
Yes.
to track down?
Yep.
So you took care of that? Good.
So it should be all good in this room now. We just need to fine tune it when we next have a live audience and everything. And
Yeah, I would assume it's much different when there's a big audience in here than.
yes,
than-
that's what makes it so hard to troubleshoot, because I can get it sounding good, but it's totally different when you have
Yeah.
a bunch of people around the table and 8 mics plugged in, and
Yeah.
becomes a different scenario. But the Alliance for Community Media New England Fall Conference and Trade Show was very informative. I mean, it's very exciting to do this type of stuff right now, because there's a lot of advances that are happening at the municipal level, like, aimed at our stuff. I sat with a company called RuShare,
Yeah, what is station management software?
station management software, and they're more aimed at, if you're doing a lot of public stuff with, paying members and stuff that you're selling and stuff like that. But they also did have some great items that I think that we could use eventually that would simplify some of the scheduling as far as staff goes, and simplifying inventory, simplifying some things like that into one system. I mean, I kind of do it all with Google Docs and spreadsheets right now, but the way they had it all set up, it looked a little neater and crisper, and it wasn't the most expensive thing I've ever seen either. So that's just something that I'd probably look into a little bit more, maybe have them do a demo, and then maybe talk about in the future.
Okay.
The special town meeting was filmed, edited, online, being broadcast. The new plan with having it all on the floor and taping it that way and then editing back here went, pretty much without a hinge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the saying. I'm doing a lot of vocabulary problems tonight. The only thing that I got for note was my people went to the other rooms because they have pre-meetings in the other rooms.
Okay.
And they brought the cameras in, but the cameras that we use are the bigger cameras, and I had some complaints about, and they do get heavy. I know that.
Yeah.
So I was gonna maybe look into like some sort of stabilization rig, or
Okay.
maybe like a shoulder rig or something for them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just for the handheld times. Online video integration with the new website. So for a couple months now, I've been uploading all of pretty much everything we shoot, public or government, goes straight to YouTube now. And it's all hosted on the same channel, which is youtube.com/Douglas Cable Access. And so the difference there is that we've always done the public, but the government has just started being uploaded to that site. And what I do is create a playlist for each committee. So, Cable Advisory Committee has their own playlist. And on YouTube, it's actually split up into playlists, and then on the new website, I can actually embed those playlists, so that when people want to look at, building department, they'll go to the government page on the town website, click building department, and there's a sub page with just the building department playlist, so that people can access everything that we have with the building department there. So it gives us a little more than we have currently. And that'll be completely in place. I'm hoping to have all the sub pages built and all the playlists embedded by the January launch. I took then from the YouTube upload from the channel, I took the RSS feed from that and created a podcast feed to submit to the iTunes podcast store to try and hedge the. We have First of all, we have the podcast playlist. So if anyone doesn't know, if you go into the Apple iTunes podcast feed, you can find Town of Douglas, and it has our meetings. This feed is going to actually have everything we do, just like the channel. So it'll have all of our public stuff and government stuff. And then this is being fed into the Apple TV. Mitch is going to give us a new script, or he's going to fix that script within the Apple TV. So hopefully all that's going to be a nice smooth transition when the new website launches too. Which is sort of the last thing that we have from that is the video archive plan. So right now, currently, before the move to the new website, the quote-unquote old website has a video page that you can go and search, and it goes back to 2006. And what I had talked to Mitch about doing is to keep that page basically intact, and to have it linkable from the new town website. So when people go to the new website, they can look for either a new meeting, or if you're looking for an archived meeting, they can click that and go to the old system. I figured even if we do it for a year or two until we figure out something that works a little better, or if that works good, then maybe keep that. But at least it'll give us some time to consider options. But that also depends on Mitch being able to do some work on his end too, because I can't control that part of it. So if all goes well, we'll use that, and then if it doesn't go well, then I'll put some Plan B, Plan C type of things for archiving. Plan C is that I have it all here, so if anyone needs something, they can request it. But ideally, we'd have something that people could access without having to go through that. And I'm uploading until the end of 2017, so that archive will be a nice, clean 2006 to 2017 archive.
Okay, that's.
just to make it
great.
easier.
Yep.
So moving on to equipment, I have in there it's a quote from Megahertz Fiber Transmitter Receiver. And this is in regards to, we had discussed, or we've been in discussion for a few years. It was made, the library was actually made a point of fiber for broadcasting live. So we had talked about it and sort of didn't really make any decisions on it.
Do they have fiber in the building?
I believe the fiber is ready, that it would need to be just attached or plugged in essentially.
But it's in the building itself.
I believe so. I haven't checked with, and the person at Charter said she believed that they did all the work at once because they did the school,
Right.
they did the municipal building, and I believe that they did the library, but I haven't put eyes on it myself.
I'd put my eyes on it.
Okay. Yeah. So I can talk to Justin over there.
Okay.
Um,
So the idea was just basically to have an access point for doing something live from.
Live broadcasting from downtown,
Library, yeah.
from downtown Douglas.
I was thinking we should get a webcam and put it out on Main Street.
Yeah.
Traffic cam,
Traffic cam.
so you can see before you leave in the morning, you can see if downtown's
See how
clogged up
long
or
the
not.
backup is up,
Yeah.
coming in from Webster here.
But so what we'd have to purchase our own transmitter receiver, which is what the quote's for, and then just add an adapter here that would go into the Tightrope and program it to accept another channel. But then we would have, live broadcast ability from the library, which is sort of what we already put into place. But,
Yeah.
my recommendation is if we should look at it for, obviously we didn't budget for it this year, so
And is that the only other place that we really have, theoretically, we have fiber?
yeah, I
There's
think.
not that they didn't pull it down to the fire station or.
I'm actually not sure because I just based off memory, I feel like there was like 5 spots that they said were possible.
Yeah, it is. My memory is that they didn't want to go all the way down to the fire station. Do you have any?
They may have argued that.
My memory's foggy on that one.
Yeah.
I remember talking about it, but.
Yeah.
I think the library is the only one that we confirmed
Yeah.
that we definitely wanted.
Probably true.
It's
Sounds
probably
like-
in the license agreement.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in there. We should just take a look at that. Okay.
So either way, I just wanted to get that
Yeah,
finished up so we have it.
interesting.
Um,
Interesting concept.
The other equipment item that I have is for the Tightrope software assurance, which we discussed a few times. This is just for our broadcast playback system. And I did check with the town finance, and we can't do multiple years.
Right.
They won't give us a discount for multiple years unless we pay for multiple years, so we'll have to do it one year at a time.
1 year at a time.
But I would definitely recommend it. but-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. I think that
If you had a multi-year contract, do you have to pay it all up front? I mean, I would think that couldn't you have a multi-year contract and then pay an amount every year? Doesn't that, I mean, you typically, if you
I feel like a contract with an option.
yeah, I
Renewal
just
option,
don't understand why.
typically.
I can understand not paying it, but I can see having a multi-year contract with a specific amount every year. It just doesn't sound right. What was, it was a substantial discount, wasn't it, for a multi-year?
I think it was 100. I think it was like $100
A year?
for. Yeah, I'd have to look at. I probably have it right here.
Okay. Well, that's something to ask, if you could.
What the actual discount is?
Well, find out what the discount is and ask them why, if we had a multi-year contract, we couldn't get a bill every year for.
Well, I know that the because I talked to finance and they actually said something similar to what you're saying, and that's what I brought to Gary for can we do this or can we do this, and he said no, it's either you purchase 5 years at this price, or you do year by year. You know what I mean?
That's sound right.
And I believe that's the tightrope
Oh,
protocol.
Okay.
So it's not his personal.
okay, so I guess we're stuck with the 1 year then.
You have to take it year by year.
Okay. And so the next item's things for a capital thing going forward.
Yes, so we had budgeted this year for doing some upgrades to the different, we have basically 3 main recording areas with rack equipment. And we had talked about doing updates to those. This room has already been done audio, we just need to do video. The other room is pretty good on audio, just need to do video. And then over at the high school, I need to go through with them on their rack and see what we need to do there. Just basically keeping it on the
the
calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
Be about 9,000 around there each room.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was all I had.
You okay? So our meetings are going well?
Yep.
It's canceled. What does it mean, no staff? Does that mean,
No staff is that I canceled it in early enough where I just remove. Because if I keep, if you see the late notification,
Mhm.
usually I'll keep the staff just so I know who I
Oh,
booked.
okay.
Sometimes it
Okay.
got canceled before I booked someone, or
Good.
no staff just means that it's easier for me to figure out that way.
Okay, thank you.
When I'm double checking payroll and stuff like that.
And so there's, go back in the software,
Mhm.
it's based on the number of channels, so we have 4 channels at 400?
Yes, so we have public, government, education output channels, and then we have what's called a 1 input channel,
Okay.
which would be like if we, if we run the library live, and it could be used for a record channel too.
Okay.
But we have better record machines.
Okay, does anyone have any other open business that you'd like to discuss tonight? No? Then I would say that our next meeting would be in the month of January. The second Monday of January will be the 8th of January, so we'll shoot for January 8th at 7 o'clock. And with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. The Cable Advisory Committee is ended at 7:54 PM.